here at Coffee County Central Office. Thank everybody for coming. We got a lot to do tonight. I think we're going to break away here just a little bit, and basically I'm going to turn the floor over to Mr. Hargrove in just a second. He's going to explain kind of how we're going to go through this process a little quicker, and just to try to get through these things a little faster. There you go.
Thank you, Mr. Gilly. We've fallen a tad bit behind, and we're in a catch-up mode with our policy. I can't express my gratitude towards Ms. Westmoreland, Ms. Melissa, and our directors up here in the central office and principals reviewing policy and sharing potential changes in policy. They spent a lot of time going through these documents, and we're thankful for their efforts. Hopefully make this a little less painless. Miss Melissa will serve as the MC, and of course we have our chairman there that will run this. She'll bring and introduce each policy and each change, and our goal is to move corrected policies to the back of the book behind the blue. Anything else?
That's all I can think of. I'm just, like I say, I'm gonna pass this to her to just start at number one, and she'll explain any changes, where it come from, whether it be administrators or TSBA, things of that nature. The notes that she has on it. Of course, we're just kind of following along, and we'll go from there. We will get started. I apologize. All right, Miss Melissa, you want to start with number one, which is paid parental leave. We'll just move right on.
So the first one that we have here is paid parental leave. So this is, needs to be a standalone policy according to our auditors. So we do have a little bit of this language in another policy, but this is what the auditor has asked for, and Ms. Milson has went through, and this is what she said she needs to get this policy going for the auditors.
So this is a new policy that is also referenced in another policy. Is that other policy on this list later tonight to?
Let's see. I believe it's the family medical leave policy.
Number 14.
I believe it will be in number 14.
Do we-
And what that's talking about, and is what it's in there, is it's talking about how, when someone is out on maternity leave or something, they can take 6 weeks of paid, leave, and they can do it, it can be taken consecutively or concurrent.
In weeks or days, weeks of, they can either take it 6 weeks consecutive or in week increments. So we could take a week, off a week, take another week, off a week, take another week. So this has been a change.
The notebook shutting and opening is very, very loud. So just
Maybe we
be
put it
wary
down
of
here in
that.
front of us.
We apologize now for the loud clicks, but it's gonna happen. Do we need to pull number 14, policy 5.305, family and medical leave, and knock two birds out with one stone here, if it
Do you want to just,
pertains to that?
well, you want to just do them in order?
They're not in order?
They are,
Well-
but you want to just go through the book and do them in order,
Well,
or you want to?
but if there's something, well, I guess we could move on. Obviously, if this is a new policy, it's at the front when we get to 14, because we know it has to do with it. It's easy to flip back to the front. We'll handle that at that time.
And this is required for us to have this
Yes.
policy.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's not something we have developed.
So, if there's any discussion or anything about it, we'll call it, welcome our new policy, and move ahead.
Are we going to do any questions?
I can do that. Is there a motion to accept number one?
I so moved.
All right, do we have a second?
I second.
All right. All all say aye.
Aye.
No? Next one, number 2, policy 1.407, school district records.
School district records. Okay, previously, the state law permitted individuals to submit records via fax. Public Chapter 94 removed this option, and we've updated the corresponding model to reflect that change.
All right, I guess we've heard that. Do I have a motion to accept number 2 with changes?
I so move.
You have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? No discussion, say yes.
Aye.
Any noes? All right, number 3, 2.404, school support organization.
Okay, so on the school support organization, policy point 2.404, what we did on this one is we changed the date over here. If you'll look at it, to July the 15th. It did say that it was supposed to be turned in at the end of the school year. However, there was a lot of sports that was being done during the summer time. So we changed it over here to July the 15th. So that's mainly outside of some of the capitalization and stuff like that.
It allows our spring sports to complete their seasons in a timely manner and gather their,
So what you're saying, this one was the original, and this is the one that's been changed?
Yes, next page.
Okay. These two, okay.
Changes there. And it's just changing that date. Okay, do I have a motion to accept policy 2.404 with the revisions?
I so move.
Second?
I'll second.
All right, any discussion on those? Is this public
That's
chapter number, did that go with the first, that policy before, or has it got language in here explaining about this?
was it behind it?
Yeah. The House bill was right in front of school support. And I think that had to
It
do
goes with this other policy, I
your
believe.
records.
Yes, it goes with the
That had
records.
to go with the records, okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any noes? All right, passes. Number 4, policy 2.403, surplus property sales.
Okay, in the past, federal regulations required that certain actions be taken when property valued at $5,000 or below was disposed of. This limit has now increased to $10,000. They've realigned the policy 2.403 to align with this new standard. So, that is raising up, when you get surplus in things, from 5,000 to 10.
And the information that is displayed behind the
Is the
amended
pub,
policy is the information about it.
yes.
So is that public chapter number as well? That's
Yes,
it?
that will go with this.
Yeah, I see that, okay. All right, do we have a motion to accept policy 2.403 surplus property sales with amendments?
I so move.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any noes? Motion passes. Number 5, policy 3.204, threat assessment team.
Okay, so this policy right here, there are new reporting requirements regarding threat and significantly disruptive behavior. Now, a report must be made to parents or guardians within 48 hours of the district reporting something to law enforcement. And additionally, there's now going to be a report given quarterly for incidents provided to the board at board meetings.
Good.
So that is policy 3.204.
Okay, do we have a motion to accept policy 3.204 with amendments?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
I have a question.
Any
The threat
discussion?
assessment team, is that the, what we call our, security team, or who is the threat assessment team?
The
That's-
threat assessment teams are composed, probably similar,
same
but a
group?
little different
Yeah.
between school. SROs, school counselor,
Administrators.
administrators.
Teachers as needed, depending on the situation.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a threat assessment team at each school?
Yes, ma'am. And they have to report any threats quarterly to central office.
Disruptive behavior.
And so we don't have, there's not a threat assessment team for the whole county, it's for each individual?
Yes,
There's
there
one-
is.
There is.
And that was the
Yes.
one I was thinking about, the one that meets.
Yes, ma'am.
I guess, are you on that? I think Holly's on it. Is that the
Well,
one?
I'm on,
You-
but it's separate. That's
Oh,
where,
that's
that's
separate
more of
from
your,
this?
yeah, that's
Okay.
your quiet secret stuff.
Okay, but this threat assessment team, we have a
Yes.
system.
Each school.
And we will be getting as a board, this also states, we will be getting as a board updates, numbers of incidents, things of that nature.
So for instance, if there was a threat of something terrible at a school and the threat assessment team, discussed it and all that, then it would be provided to the school board meeting, the next meeting? Is that what this is saying?
It's going to be quarterly.
Quarterly.
Quarterly?
Quarterly.
Okay.
And so it may not come, it may just come from me as kind of, just to you.
But
'cause
just
that will
be-
be just to
right.
keep you informed, yes, ma'am.
And they will be open for public inspection?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
No, it's
Closed.
It's closed to the public.
No, I'm reading the part where it says, documents produced, will not be open for public inspection. Okay, right.
Yes.
Now-
Just the information on it to the board.
It says that they have 48 hours to inform the parents.
No, I think that was 48 hours to report.
48 hours of the district reporting to the law enforcement, a report has to be made to the parents or guardians.
Okay. If it was referred to law enforcement.
Yeah, and that's something that we've done in the past. That's not anything new for us.
Okay.
Is that just sent out via the phone messages, or how do you go about that when, because I know that's a lot of times the community asks about something like that. If there's a shutdown or lockdown, how do we get that out to the parents?
Yeah,
The threat assessment, the principals would call the parent, let them
So-
know what's going on.
If you're, are you talking about to the public, though? or-
Uh-huh.
Okay, so as far as going out to the public, that would go out either a message directly to parents through Parent View.
Okay.
We have definitely in the past, you all, from time to time, I'm sure see, and it doesn't happen very often, but there'll be a message go out on social media that there was a threat that was confirmed, that was not, legitimate, things like that. So it's same day. In fact, pretty soon it's going to go out to the public because it's getting out there. So we do our best to get it out there. We
So
work with
we
the-
have a system in place within
Yes.
48
Yes.
hours that
Yes.
we've notified parents?
Well,
Yes.
I think this policy is dealing with the individual child in a certain incident. If the incident was bad enough to be reported to law enforcement about that child, then parents are certainly gonna know that school had to report it to law enforcement within 48 hours. If I'm not mistaken.
Involving those parents as we're doing the threat assessment.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and, it says the director of schools shall develop a process for providing parents, guardians information on credible threats of violence.
Well-
And what I'm thinking is, like, if you got a phone call saying, there's a bomb in the school, and that's not an individual person, that's just,
Right.
that you know about, it's just a threat. And in that instance, when you found out, you investigated it, and you found out there was nothing to it, then you've got a way of getting that to every parent, because
Yes.
there wouldn't be
Yes.
just one or two parents that you would inform, because you don't know who
Right,
who did the threat, so.
right. So the district has school messenger that's used, and
And
so
it's
that
just
pushes
kind of
that
like the
medicine.
homework thing, it goes
Yes.
out on the same.
You've
Okay.
got 48 hours
Just
to
make sure
report to
that-
law enforcement. Right? Yeah,
But parents are immediate,
yeah.
pretty quick, okay. That was my concern. If you reported to parents and said, by the way, 2 days ago, we had this.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, once investigations are completed and we know,
Okay.
then
And
message.
like you say, they'll hear it probably before you have time to send it out anyway, but you did your part.
Yes.
We do our best to get the information out to ease everybody's concern.
Right.
Because we want our kids to be at school the next
Right,
day or
right.
that afternoon or whenever.
All right, any more discussion on agenda item 5, policy 3.204, motion to accept with amendments?
That's so much.
We already have a first and a second. All say aye.
Aye.
Any noes? Motion passes. Number 6, policy 3.202, emergency preparedness plan.
Okay, emergency preparedness plan. So in this, so what has changed on this is that no more than 2 fire drills are required to occur within the first 30 days of school. So, that's a little bit, Ms. Garner, you might want to come to the mic. That's a little bit different. I know this is one that she has looked at since she is our, safety. Is that, everything in that correct?
Really, the only thing,
You may have to come to the mic because people can't hear you.
All I see is the difference between the original, just says with 2 fire drills, and this one says with no more than 2 fire drills.
that's the only
the only
thing that
difference.
changed.
That's
So really, our practices have not changed. We're doing the same thing that we've always done. I don't really understand why they say you can't have more than 2, but I actually read the law, and that is what it says, so.
So our policy mirrors the
Yes.
exact same language. We've always had to have 2 fire drills the
Yeah.
first month of school.
Okay, can I
And
get
then you've
a,
added there's another one in red about working lines 20 through 22. That's an addition too, is it?
let me get a motion and get it on the
Okay,
floor, and we'll
sorry.
discuss it.
Okay, I make that motion to approve the emergency preparedness
As amended.
as amended.
All right, motion's been made. Second.
I'll second.
All right. Discussion.
So really, there's 2 things that's changed. The one that's no more than 2 fire drills, and then the paragraph that says the district shall work with local law enforcement and the local fire department to develop a procedure for identifying the cause of fire alarm activation. And it must be in place by January 1st, 2025, and
we've
shall
done
be
that.
reviewed, and you've already
Yes,
got that.
We did that. It was our new procedure for fire alarms. We won't discuss that, but it is in place.
Any more questions? All in favor of accepting agenda item number 6, policy 3.202, as with amendments, please say aye.
Right.
Aye.
Uh-huh.
Any noes? Motion passes. Number 7, 3.400, student transportation management.
So on this one right here, there shall be a new, this is new, that we should have a sign, in a conspicuous place saying authorized person shall enter the bus. No, only authorized persons shall enter the bus. And then it has also that it has appropriate contact information in case of an issue with the bus. It's talking about down here that school bus drivers need to receive, their certificate, and, annually, they need to have physicals and so forth. It also has on here, the complaint process, calling the transportation supervisor and whatnot.
Okay, do I have a motion to accept with or without changes? Just tell me if you want.
I make a motion that we accept it with changes.
With the changes, all right. Motion's been made to accept policy 3.400, student transportation management with amendments.
I will second that.
All right, now, any discussion on it? Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any noes? Motion passes. Number 8, policy 3.602, workers' compensation.
Okay, this workers' compensation right here, so this one was brought up, I think, a couple of, weeks ago when we first looked at it, and Mr. Gilly wanted me to call and, run this by our, attorney. And so, I did check on this. We were, there was just a couple of, school districts that paid the third. So that's been causing like some issues, so we just took that out. We just took it out, so it's gonna make it just precise and stuff. So, I've had the attorney look at this, I've had Mr. Tom Montgomery look at this, and Ms. Dawn Wiles. Mr. Montgomery is over our insurance with Tennessee Risk Management, and Ms. Dawn Wiles is over workers' compensation. She is the supervisor. So some of the language in here that is in red, they have helped craft that language. And so, we just want something where when we open it up, there is no confusion about workers' comp. This is what we're doing. So, if anybody has any questions about this,
We'll get it in discussion here.
okay.
Do I have a motion to accept policy 3.602, workers' compensation with amendments?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
Now, in discussion, I'm gonna start and then I'll open the floor up. I did work with Miss Melissa on this because I know in the business world of things, once an employee's been injured, obviously, it's law, you have to report immediately. Then number 2, their new contact is their workman's comp. We're out of it as a business. We can't get into paying, we're advised not to pay. So that's the reason I asked her that question, is if school was different than the business world, normal business world. So that's why that came up. So we see the changes that create.
So the state recommended that we delete that 24, lines 24 through 28, 29.
Yes.
And that covers it where it says that the board shall maintain adequate workman's compensation coverage according to state law. That, okay.
Now, it does say back here, the board will continue to pay for individual insurance premiums for the employee during the 30-day maximum period, benefit period.
Yeah.
Now, she did say that if you wanted to pay, 2 months or something like that, then we could change that, if we did want to do that.
When you're
What-
getting into protecting their benefits and things of that nature, you can enter into that market, but as far as payroll, pay,
Right.
that's a no-go.
So they do have to come in,
Benefits, you
if they're
can-
getting any kind of deductions or anything like that taken out of their check, they do have to pay that. They have to pay family coverage on that also. And so they'll have to bring, after 30 days, they'll have to bring a check up to the central office to pay for that.
Because obviously, if you go over 30 days and don't pay, they're not gonna have it.
I guess this is what I was concerned about. It says, in the event an employee is injured on the job while working for Coffee County Schools, the board will pay the difference between the normal salary and the workman's comp benefit payment. The board's salary payment shall not exceed 1/3 of the usual salary of the employee. So we're no longer doing that?
Correct.
You shouldn't, workman's comp should be paying based off of their wages
So
anyways.
workman's comp is gonna be picking it up, not
Yeah,
us.
yes.
Well, why do we have that in there to begin with?
We don't know. We don't know where it came from.
That's cleaning up
That's where I
though.
seen that. and
It's
was like,
cleaning up
"Whoa,
some of the language
can't-
in there, yeah.
I
Right.
never heard of that. I want a job here.
Right, so, I mean, I'm thinking, where did it come from, and we're taking it out.
Yeah, but you can't, that's a no-go zone from your workers' comp people, and that's what they tell you, like, no, we take that out. Y'all step
So
aside.
on workers' comp, when I receive somebody that's on workers' comp, I should file it. And then workers' comp should take over after that. We should not be interfering in
At all.
anything else.
And the
So
only
that's
thing,
why we're
the next
cleaning up some
time-
of this
The next
language.
time you will come back into it is when they come back with a release to go back to work,
Mm-hmm.
return to work.
Or if they are on accommodation, or like restrictions,
schedule.
I'll ask the principals, hey, can you accommodate this person? And as long as they can accommodate them and find them a position, then, you know, they are still receiving their full pay. So that's an incentive for them to try to keep coming in and working, because they will get their full pay. But workers' comp will also
Workman's comp is
kick
the
in after 7 days.
largest insurance ripoff on planet Earth. Not by people, by the workman's comp people, insurers, underwriters. I had to send that jab out across the airways. Any more discussion? All right, none. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Number 9, policy 4.212, virtual education program.
Okay. Virtual education program. So this is Public Chapter 484, which should be back here. Let's make sure. Yes. So your public chapter back here says that permits districts to use hybrid learning in the event of dangerous or extreme weather or an emergency as determined by the director of schools. If a district uses the hybrid learning, the board must have a policy in place regarding the student attendance. And so that is, this is what we're looking at right here.
I'm going to recommend, well, because with what you just read, they're only allowing virtual, here we go. First off, do I have a motion to accept this with amendments? Policy 4.212, virtual education program with amendments.
I so move.
Do I have a second?
I'll say.
One second.
Now, discussion. Did I understand that correctly, which I need to read this House bill fully? They're only allowing virtual education, a virtual education program under certain circumstances and weather and emergency?
So this right here,
Because I think we're about to open,
the hybrid, this is for if it's snow or something like that. This is not your virtual education.
okay.
These are for
Still
all,
allowed.
This is
all
not-
our
Still
students.
allowed.
This
Ms.
is not
Cole?
at cost.
The state, they distinguish between the virtual school and the virtual education program. So when they're talking about virtual education, it just those online programs to supplement or expand or intervention, something like that. It's not, it's completely different than a virtual school, but it
Okay.
can be confusing.
So for instance, if they change the law that after so many days, you have to provide virtual education on a snow day or something, this is when this would kick in, is that correct?
That would be one of.
We could,
Yeah,
possibly.
hopefully that won't happen.
Yes, ma'am.
Or you have a school that has a fire and you don't have enough room everywhere else to
Yes, sir.
rezone them, you can put that school on a virtual program.
This has been utilized with tornadoes.
Yeah.
It's also utilized with advanced placement courses, dual enrollment courses. It just supplements, because not all of our teachers are certified in everything, so we get to use some online courses to expand off of it, so it covers that too.
The state has expanded,
Ability.
yes.
Okay. Any more questions or discussion? All right, motion is on the floor. All those in favor, please say so by stating aye.
Aye.
Any noes? Hearing none, motion passes. Agenda item 10, policy 4.403, library materials. I told everybody we could go back. Yes.
Okay. So library materials on here, the recent change to state law clarifies that materials may not be excluded from school libraries solely on the grounds that they're religious. So that's one of the things that's changed in it. The other that we changed, we do not have a district media specialist. We have school media specialists. That language was changed in here. And I think that's it. This is one that I think Ms. Krista looked at, and
Shall be removed and excluded.
Ms. Krista, and maybe, I think Dr. Blessing also looked at this.
All right, do we have a motion to accept the new policy 4.403, library materials with amendments?
I so move.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, now, discussion.
Okay, where it talks about, you said we don't have a district media specialist?
No, ma'am.
Okay, well, let me ask you this, could someone at the central office level have that under their umbrella? Because right now, it's like, all of them are individual librarians, individual media people, and there's no central person that would help decide things as a whole. I mean, I'm just talking out loud.
Well, I mean,
They suggested this for some purpose, and if we don't, we wouldn't have to have one person doing that. I mean, but maybe someone could be assigned as the district media specialist if something did come up that there was a need for discussion or things of that nature.
and I'm not sure on that, but I believe each librarian orders their own books, so they would probably be more familiar with what was in their library.
Yeah, I know each individual person orders their own books, but that means somebody that's supervising it is getting to be so,
When I looked
getting to be so contradictory or conflicts about that I'm wondering if,
into this policy, I was thinking, and I can't remember who all looked at it with me, but I remember thinking, schools already have qualified and experienced personnel who are doing this thing, and they're already well equipped in managing each site, and I just thought that gives them flexibility to continue doing what they're doing instead of someone up here micromanaging their
well,
sections.
yeah. And what I wasn't thinking about micromanagement. I was just thinking if there was a controversy or conflict with what we had in our library, that there would be someone that system-wide that could address it. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just,
And it's, so in this policy, it talks about just what you're speaking of.
Okay.
When there's controversy, there's a form that it refers to, and we have.
It's in complaints.
and who would it go to? Would it go to the librarian or someone up here?
This policy says it could go to first it would go to the principal or the librarian, and they would have a committee at that level, and if there's any kind of disputes there, then it would come to this office.
And then who would be responsible at this office if it came to,
Director of schools.
go directly to you?
Yes,
Okay.
That's what it says right there for you.
Okay.
Line 22.
So
back
really,
page.
so the state recommended a media specialist to we don't have to do that. I mean, there was a reason for it, because I'm sure there was a need at some time. Okay.
Any more questions or discussion?
You're the media specialist.
Yes, ma'am. I was trying to avoid that, but
All right, all those in favor of accepting policy 4.403, library materials as amended, please say so by stating aye.
Aye.
Any noes? All right, motion passes. Item number 11, policy 4.100, instructional program.
Okay, so on this one right here, there are three policies. This one is, and we'll get to these in a minute, but there's policy 4.100, instructional program. Policy 5.500, is discrimination, harassment of employees. And policy 6.304, student discrimination, harassment, bullying, cyberbullying, and intimidation. So with the policy, and I don't know if I put that in here. So there is a public chapter 293. And this new state law requires boards to include the definition of what is it? Yes, there you go. So it is it is put out in each one of these policies. So if you'll notice under the front, the very first line, it is in there. We might could have pulled all of them and did them.
Okay, yeah, and you can go ahead and get an update on the other two as well, right?
Mm-hmm, because it's supposed to be
They're all kind of intermingled.
Yes.
They're not on our list for later on today.
They're not.
No, I don't think. No. Yeah? No?
6304.
They're not in here.
6304 is.
Yes. Okay, I see.
31.
So it's in there at 31.
I just do not have 5.500, but we could do 6304. Along with it if you want.
Okay, so we've already been over that one. But what is it, do you know the changes that it entails between those other two policies?
It's just inserting that definition.
Inserting it into the other two policies?
Policies,
And
yeah.
since they're not on here, we can handle that later. We can do this. Okay. All right, I think we can still handle those
Okay,
later.
okay, let's just do this one.
Okay, can I get a motion on the floor for policy 4.601? Wait a minute.
No, 4.100.
Yeah, 4.100, to accept as amended.
I so move.
I will second that.
Okay, I have a question. So we're adopting it with the added discrimination shall include anti-Semitism defined as a certain perception of Jews, which may express its hatred toward Jews, including. Why would that first statement not include everything? The board shall not discriminate on the basis of race, color, religion, sex, national origin, or disability in its instructional program or activities. That covers everything.
It does, but in today's world, I think this
Yeah.
is particularly in the spotlight right now.
I totally
Well,
agree with that.
and maybe we
see-
need to say Jews, Catholics, add everybody else in there too, Church of Christ.
Did you say, say the state made us put, where's it, there it is. Okay. State law requires boards to include the definition of anti-Semitism and anti-discrimination policies. So, to answer your question, yes
We
and
just-
yes. You need the first sentence as well to cover everybody, but they definitely want you to put the second one in there
Right.
as well and define
Cemetery.
Yeah. That word.
That word.
So,
Well, maybe we
While
need
we
to
all
add
agree, yeah.
discrimination shall include, there's a lot of other things
Yeah.
we could include also.
yeah.
But they're
Well,
just-
your first
they're
sentence,
Focusing on this because of, I guess.
we're not gonna discriminate on basis of race, color, religion, sex, national origin, or disability in its instructional program or activities, and then there is the definition of anti-Semitism. Like the state says, you gotta have it in your policy, the definition, so there's the definition. So, weird, goofy, but yes, I do believe, Ms. Frida, that we could all probably agree to take a look at it later on at another date and probably
Well,
add some more to it.
I'm not against having that in here. I'm just saying,
We could
when
add
you
more
start
to it.
adding one, you could add a lot of different
We could,
definitions.
yeah.
Definitions
The
of
only thing the state's
discrimination.
telling us right now is we gotta add that one.
Right. And so we gotta do it.
So,
And one thing to be cautious on is if you add, like, these groups, if you leave one group off, then that one group would have grounds to dispute the policy because you left them off the list.
yeah,
Well, we've added a group. We've added a group.
but the state took that fight up. They're the ones that mandated we had to do that one,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah, that's the only thing I'm saying is just when you start adding this group and this group and this group. that
Oh, I'm not
group,
saying we need to add.
Let them-
That was just my,
let the next
Philosophy.
let the next group fight the state over that. The state's the one that spoke up over this one. And if another group's like, well, we wanted to be on your policy too, well, we don't have to, the state just made us do this, so go argue with them.
Kind of like the cell phone policy.
So, all right, any further discussion? All right, all those in favor of accepting policy 4.100 as amended, please say so by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, motion passes. Next is policy number 12, policy 4.601, reporting student progress.
Okay, policy 4.601. So report cards for students in grades kindergarten through 8th must now include student scores on the most recently administered universal reading screener and result of a dyslexia screener if applicable. So, and that's public chapter 330.
Our schools have already been doing this. Prior to my arrival now, law requires us to do it, so it's not a real big change for us at all. I mean, you're gonna get your children's grades and how they perform on their screener. Just an add-on to the report card.
Okay, do I have a motion to accept policy 4.601, reporting student progress as amended?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion?
So they're no longer going to take away their driver's license if they become academically deficient.
That is correct, and that's actually, it's been that way for quite some time.
Oh, it has?
I don't agree with that myself, but it's been that way.
Okay.
Any further discussion? All those in favor of accepting the motion as amended, please say so by stating aye.
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 Any noes? Motion passes. All right, number 13, policy 5.704, intern.
Okay, and this policy right here, when Mr. Torres, the TSBA lawyer, was going through this, and he said that this is no longer maintained by TSBA. So we can delete this. So this is up for removing from our policies, because we do not have interns.
and we do not use interns, correct?
So that, oh, I can't talk yet, can I?
Well, so I guess this is basically a motion to remove policy 5.704.
And we don't have interns. So I make a motion. I so move.
I'll second it.
First and second, any discussion?
Yeah, what is the difference between an intern and a student teacher? Because surely we do have student teachers.
We do.
We have a student-teacher policy, I think, don't we?
But what is an intern? If it's not a student teacher?
I think it must be someone that's gonna take a job because it says that shall count as a probationary year of teaching. And I don't think student teaching counts as that.
Maybe this is something from a while back.
Okay.
Now, this is something new that they wanted us to insert?
No, they want us to
take it
delete.
out.
Remove it.
Oh. So
It's no longer maintained by
I don't
TSBA.
remember it. Okay. I don't ever remember having interns.
Any more discussion? All those in favor of removing policy 5.704 interns, please say so by stating aye.
Aye.
Any noes? It is now removed. Now, number 14 is policy 5.305, family and medical leave. And this is where we got to compare this one back to our first one we had tonight as well, correct?
Policy .5305, family medical leave, and 5.701, substitute teachers. This is a cleanup bill from Public Chapter 235. It made several changes to state law. One significant change is to the paid parental leave statute, which employees may use this type of leave. Under the new law, employees must satisfy the following criteria to be eligible for this paid leave: have received a license or an emergency credential from the Department of Education required for relevant position, be in a full-time position that requires relevant license and emergency credential for at least 12 consecutive months. These changes to state law also clarify that this leave can be taken. Now employees may choose whether to take the leave consecutively or non-consecutively, but the increments of no less than 1 week. Please note that there is also a difference in how attorneys interpret this law. We recommend speaking with your board attorney prior to implementation, if necessary, that they can send out further instructions on this policy. So on this policy right here, this was looked at by Ms. Langham, and also she's our HR, and also it was looked at by Ms. Milson, which she is the one that had to have the new paid parental leave policy for the auditor.
So the way I see this is we scratch number 4 on line 17 of the page 2 of the amended. We take all paid parental leave notations out of here because we now have a policy that we established in the number 1 agenda item
correct.
tonight. So,
Really, that's only different.
okay, can I get a motion to accept policy 5.305, family and medical leave, as amended?
I so move.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
So point number 5, any qualifying circumstances arising out of the fact that a spouse, child, or parent of the employee is on covered active duty or has been notified of an impending call or order to cover active duty in the armed forces. I don't see, I can see where a spouse, but not a child or parent, would be, the teacher would be affected by.
Say that again.
Which line?
She's on number 5
Line
on the
5.
first page of the amended policy.
It
Oh,
said,
okay.
any qualifying circumstance arising out of the fact that a spouse, which I see, a child or parent of the employee is on covered active duty or has been notified of an impending call or ordered to covered active duty in the armed forces. I can see where if your spouse was suddenly called and you had children, you'd have to compensate. But I don't see why if your child was called, you need to take leave, or a parent. That just doesn't make sense.
I'm wondering if the phrase here, qualifying circumstance, may be the focus.
Yeah, qualifying circumstances.
Yeah, for instance, it's not just the fact that someone's been called up, but if for instance, if the child has been called up and now there is a young one that has to be cared for, and there's no one to care for them.
Or a
Or if
parent and the other
has
parent.
been called up and perhaps they are a caretaker of whether it's another child, a sibling, something where the care now has been removed because the military person has been called to active duty, that this one, the teacher is stepping up to fill that void.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah,
Thank you, Dr. Blessing, for making some sense out of that.
that's what we're here for. Any more questions or discussion? Okay, all those in favor of accepting policy 5.305, family and medical leave as amended, please say so by stating aye.
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 Any noes? Motion passes. Number 15, policy 5.307, physical assault leave.
Okay, so in this policy 5.307, the only thing that we're adding in here is that they need to go onto the website and complete the workers' comp paperwork. There's a
For
employee
the incident
injury.
report and all that. It's just stating in policy what your steps you must follow.
Yes,
That's,
so
Okay.
that's the only new thing on that.
okay. Can I get a motion to accept policy 5.307, physical assault leave as amended?
I so move.
I second.
Any discussion? No discussion. All those in favor, please state so by saying aye.
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
Any noes? Motion passes. Number 16, 5.606, staff gifts and solicitations.
Okay, so in this one right here, it's just stating in here that employees may campaign for or against a referendum, but they are prohibited from using district-owned property to engage in this political activity. And this is not limited to buildings, signage, message boards, telephone equipment, electronic equipment, email accounts, or video messages.
Melissa, would you read that again, please?
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
So, employees may, on their own time, campaign for or against any referendum, but they're prohibited from using district-owned property to engage in such. District-owned property includes, but is not limited to, buildings, signage, message boards, telephone equipment, electronic equipment, email accounts, and video messages.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I've always been a fan. I don't feel like a student should know how their teacher voted.
Schools should be non-political.
Yep.
This policy just cleans the language up from the other.
And it kind of, does this not address the issue of someone putting up a political sign in a classroom? I mean, that would be prohibited.
Political signs, yes, ma'am.
Uh-huh.
The law.
What about students? Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna speak with respect to political science in classrooms. Of course, those are not allowed generally in schools. The exception would be a social studies classroom. The law lays out, you can do some historical things. You want to be balanced in what you present. You wouldn't present just a certain political party's signage. But, in U.S. government classroom, for instance, we have that kind of thing, but that's generally it. I mean, it's just not allowed anywhere.
Can I get a motion to accept policy 5.606 with amendments?
I so move.
Second?
I will second.
Now discuss. Because I think this is more geared towards a Trump sign in the office or not, or somebody else's or what have you. It don't
Or
matter.
Dr. Blessing for governor
Yeah.
out in the lawn, the school lawn,
I declined the nomination.
So duly noted.
So,
Love that look on your face.
It's the Dr. Blessing.
This would include people campaigning, like if somebody wanted to campaign at a school ball game, that wouldn't be allowed.
well,
I think that
obviously, we
would be-
want our teachers to leave our students alone,
Well, what
either
about,
which way.
well, what about students also? I mean,
I
do
think
we
there
have a
is
policy for
student
that?
policy. There
It
is.
doesn't
I don't
allow
think we have a
students.
policy.
It
So
does not.
students can
There's a
do
student
whatever.
policy
By law, they are allowed.
Getting into propaganda and all that.
But now, they wouldn't be allowed to carry a Frida K. Jones flag out on a football field or anything like that.
Wouldn't that
We
be neat,
just-
though?
No, we wouldn't.
The little hatch act will not allow.
What?
The little hatch act will not allow
Yeah.
those type things to happen.
Well, I know it happened once, and I thought it wasn't right.
You know, I've had several complaints over going on 5, 6 years, 6 years now, whatever this is, I've been here, of some teachers in a few classes kind of having discussions at certain points during the day with their students and things when politics are hot on TV and things of that nature, and I've never been a fan of that. No matter who you're for or what you're for, I don't think the child should know how you voted as a teacher in an election.
At least not on school property, outside of school.
Well, that's where I think we're gonna have to come in as a administrative group of, how do we, because, I know even the sheriff's department, it's in their policy and procedure book of how all the employees are to act, even in their own time. That kind of stuff's not allowed. So it happens in many businesses and many people that have employees that vote and do as you please, but you need to keep that to yourself, I guess. I don't know. That's a loaded.
I mean, I agree completely. I mean, I'd mentioned social studies a couple of minutes ago with, just political signs, in a social studies classroom, like a government classroom. Aside from a social studies classroom, if you're a math teacher, you're there to focus primarily on that. I mean, you're to teach good character and things like that, but I would agree completely.
But how do we do that, and where do we put that?
Well, in this policy, it says employees may on their own time campaign for or against any candidate or referendum. But just not on the school property.
And that's fine. I mean, that covers that, my issue with that. But once again, we're getting into social media, which wish it wasn't here, but
I think we all do.
many students are friends with many teachers. And there's a lot of stuff gets put out sometimes, but I think we still have policies where we kind of watch our employees and what they post too, so.
Now, I would like a policy on that where you can't include students on your Facebook pages and things like that, but I don't know if you could really do that.
I mean, obviously, we want the camaraderie and friendship,
I don't
guess.
know.
So I could see where we could make this little simple policy, very potent.
Well, you know, one thing I'll share, Mr. Anderson and I, Dr. Anderson and I know both share with their staffs that, it's just not best practice to be, just as an example, Facebook friends with one of your students.
Right.
We share these things. It's not a board policy, but.
It does happen. Obviously, you don't, I get, even as a board member, I get a lot of people that, after a friend request, that a lot of times I go back through and check and make sure, and they're just a student. I don't know them. I don't bring them on as a friend either. And I hate to, you hate to be that way to some of them sometimes, they're just reaching out, wanting to know kind of what's going on, things of that nature, but.
In the name of good business, I talk to our principals about what's, I feel like represents our schools.
Yeah.
And them well, and I'm sure they talk to their staffs, although it's not protected or supported by policy. But I know I've had that conversation with our central office staff and our admin staff, and I feel pretty confident that that's trickled down to the school level as
Yeah.
well.
So I think we've probably got enough measures in place that there's enough eyes watching, that there's enough reprimand or accountability if something gets out of
Yes, sir.
control. So, I feel pretty safe with that, so. I got no more questions. Anybody else? Okay, seeing no more discussion, is, please state by saying aye for policy acceptance of policy 5.606, staff gifts and solicitation as amended.
Aye.
Aye.
Any noes? Motion passes. Number 17, 5.118, background investigations.
You're looking at, or just a handful of words changed. They've altered their,
Okay. All right, yeah. Do I have a motion to accept policy 5.118, background investigations with amendments?
So moved.
So,
Second?
second.
All right, any discussion? I think we just heard that. There's only just a few words in there, and you can skim right down and see that it was just cleaning some verbiage up and put in shall not in one line.
I just saw that.
Right.
Yeah.
well,
I think that line 12 and 13 that we're referring to, it appears maybe a word is missing or something.
Or shall not.
Compared to line 12 of the previous, the board may reimburse the applicant if the position is offered and accepted, and then the 13 background checks shall be required. It looks as if the first part of the previous line 12, the board
shall not.
reimburse the applicant. I think the last part of that previous sentence is what's
Yeah.
missing.
Okay, so it's removing from the first one, it's removing the sentence,
Taking out may.
the board may reimburse the applicant if the position is offered and accepted.
So it should read, the board shall not reimburse the applicant if the position is offered and accepted.
That's what it seems
Yes,
I
like.
think
and
so
that,
too.
The
I-
missing part.
I agree. And that's just reinforcing the previous sentence. Any cost incurred to perform these background checks and fingerprinting shall be paid by the applicant.
Okay, so our motion is to accept as we've been given, with changes, but we're gonna have to amend that motion to interject that sentence back in if we need to.
I agree to that.
Yeah.
I agree to that. I made the motion, so we're interjecting.
Okay, so you're moving to amend the original motion by interjecting that line 12, in line 12 on page 1, the previous sentence, pick up right after shall not, and then state reimburse the applicant if the position is offered and accepted. Correct? Everybody got that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so now we will have a vote on the amendment to the original motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so the amendment passed. Now we're back to the original as amended. All those in favor, please say so by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so that passes. Amended. Next is number 18, policy 5.600, staff rights and responsibilities.
Okay. The only thing that has changed on this policy right here is, we have taken out the line, educators have the right to, and the line number 1, academic freedom within the confines of the state law and board policy in order to create an atmosphere of freedom in the classroom. So that has been taken out.
Okay. So, can I get a motion to accept policy 5.600, staff rights and responsibility as amended, as provided?
I so move.
Second?
Aye, I second it.
Okay. Now, any discussion?
Why was that removed? Because it says within the confines of state law and federal policy. It says
And why?
academic freedom within the confines of state law and board policy in order to create an atmosphere of freedom in the classroom. As long as you're in the confines of the state law and board policy, I don't know why the
I'm
state
not sure.
recommended removing it?
It was removed from the model policy at TSBA,
Okay.
so they had taken that out.
So it's not a law that we had to, but
Doesn't,
just TSBA.
TSBA just removed that from that policy. So that was their suggestion.
cleaning it up. For no particular reason.
Yeah,
Us
I
to
don't
have to
understand
Look at it, and
what-
try to catch it so that they think we're doing what we're supposed to be doing.
Teachers don't have any freedom.
Does that make sense? Any more discussion?
Sense to begin with, really.
Okay, if there's no more discussion, please state by saying aye for the acceptance of policy 5.600, staff rights and responsibilities as amended by striking basically line 1, or section 1, line 6 of the existing policy. Please say
Aye.
Aye.
Any noes? Motion passes. Next is policy 5.115, assignment and transfer.
Okay, so on this one right here, it's just talking about how this various schools and departments, the director of schools will assign employees after June the 15th preceding the school year, if they're going to be transferring.
You didn't expect to skip this part, did you?
No.
It's
No, I
just been
didn't
an
have
hour.
time. I'll let kick it now.
I think we got time here for just a second to read this, and then we'll entertain a motion on it. And it does interject in there, the board shall be notified of transfers at its next regular scheduled meeting.
So for some reason, they no longer get written notification.
I don't think
Line
so. Nope.
21.
Yep.
Yeah.
I see that
I
that's
don't
not
know
in
why
there.
they take that out. I would,
Well,
especially
I
since
can
it's gonna
see
happen in
both
the
sides.
summer. Usually.
I think,
Once again, the good business side of it, although it's not included in our policy, doesn't mean
yeah,
we're not gonna do that. We wanna have
Because-
documentation of those.
I wanna get a motion on the floor, and then we'll open it up for discussion and/or.
Okay.
How about that? Can I get a motion to accept policy 5.11, assignment and transfer with the amendments provided to us?
I so move.
Second?
I'll second it.
Now discussion. I see, all I want to say on this is, I see the side Mr. Hargrove's talking about. By removing that line, Ms. Yinch, to me, that gives him the ability, he might need to make a change regardless if they like it or not, sometimes. And
Yeah.
I think that's
Oh, I get
some of
that.
the ability.
I get
and
that.
without
So it's
written
just
notice.
saying
That's,
it may
being
need to happen
provided the written
quickly.
notice, being provided the written notice, if it's not required by law, that kind of restricts and opens the door for argument. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, maybe not, maybe I'm
Probably goes back
overthinking
to the
that.
at-will
Yeah.
state that we are.
Mhm.
And it kind of, taking that out goes along with Tennessee being an at-will state.
An
You don't
at-will,
have any
yeah.
recourse,
Yeah.
which is sad
Right
for
to work.
teachers. So, in other words, they don't have to have an improvement plan if they're transferred. It's for performance-based. I guess that goes along with the law.
I would think they'd always try to offer a improvement plan for
You would
it.
think so.
Well, where did you see that about
That was,
improvement plan, Frida?
Oh, well, I was calling that, we're on 21 and 22. It says if like Beth said, if a transfer is performance-based, the transfer shall, we're taking this out.
Yes,
The
yes.
transfer shall be preceded by a written statement of deficiencies and when feasible, a reasonable opportunity to improve. I
Well,
was
but
just
it might
calling
not
that
be- It might not be a transfer based on that reason.
right, but if it
It might be
was,
'cause I
we
just
don't have
feel
to
like
give,
you're a better person for this job over here than this job.
right.
You're doing fine where you are, but I think you'd do even better over here. I can see that. Yeah,
We have a ton, I mean, we have
yeah.
improvement plans, we have conversations, documented evaluations, there's a,
I could see where that would be just almost a case by case. You never know what you're gonna need. Any more discussion or amendments or comments?
So this was recommended by the TSBA to remove?
Yes, ma'am.
To remove the language
to remove
highlighted.
that language, yes. So back in, let me find my papers here.
And the legal references are clarified more on the amended one. They're clarified more in depth.
Back in August of 2023, Mr. Torres went through these policies for me, and then he said we have a more updated policy that we needed to go to look at, so, yes.
So that's what this is.
So this is where this is coming from.
Okay, so basically what we're saying is if someone transfers a teacher from one position to another, our policy says that there doesn't have to be a reason for it. We may be having it in place, but our policy says they don't have to have it. Is that right?
The new one.
The
This
new
new
one that
policy.
we're, I think there should be a reason. And I know you say you have it, but it's not
Sometimes
required.
It just may be a numbers thing. I mean,
Well,
Right.
you have
they do
elementary
They may not be
school.
required.
They do
Yeah.
have the ability to, and it's noted in here, transfers shall be non-discriminatory and shall not be arbitrary or capricious. So they can file a grievance as far as the way their grievance standards are if they felt like they was done wrong or discriminated on when it was moved. They feel that way. So I'm sure there's gonna be a reason, but it
Well,
really
I think
don't
in our,
have to
I
be.
think in our system, there would be a reason, but I can see where some instances, person might just decide, well, I got my niece that's graduating from MTSU, and she make a good third grade teacher. I'm gonna put her in the third grade and move that third grade teacher somewhere else, and not really have a reason.
But that couldn't be fine.
Yes, you could.
Nepotism,
Yeah, you
Right.
got a nepotism policy.
yeah. You could-
Well, as I say, it's a friend's, I mean, it doesn't have to be somebody related. It could be anybody that you wanted to put in there without, just thinking, well, okay, I can move this person and put this person that I want in there. I should have a reason of doing it other than just because I want to give that person a position. I'm just thinking in terms of how a teacher would feel. And we're saying we don't have to have a reason, even though we would. I mean, I know all of y'all would, but there's no policy saying they have to.
I can see both sides. I can see, leaving, with reasons prior to transfer. I'm not really hard up on the written notification. kind of
Right.
thing,
No, some of that's too
But having
specific.
something in there about at least giving them the reason prior to the transfer.
If it's,
hey, I could
if
use
it's
you here
performance
better,
based,
or-
if it's performance based, if they're not doing a good job, then we need to tell them or let them know why.
I'm gonna move you to here because you're
But
not
if it's
getting along with this
performance
level of
based, why
kids.
would you want to keep them anyway?
And
Unless you
their
thought they could be.
evaluations are reflective of.
Well, I'm just talking. I'm just one
If Ms.
person.
Frida wants to amend the motion.
No, I'm not gonna go against TSBA.
Okay.
I'm just saying, as a teacher though, if someone moved me out of my position,
Yeah.
saying that I wasn't performing, then I would expect to know what I needed to do to get better.
Right. That's the only thing that bothers me is, but I'm sure you offer telling the teacher.
There are no surprises, I promise.
Okay, this is where you're off, this is what you gotta do to improve. I'm sure, I can't imagine you guys
directed.
not doing that.
Well, we can always change it if an instance come up like that and we saw that it was an issue.
And put a line in there, no surprises. All right, any more discussion or questions or concerns? If not, all those in favor, please state by saying aye.
Aye.
Any noes? Motion passes. Agenda item 20, policy 5.304, long-term leave and absence. But before we get to that, do we need to take about a 5-minute break here or 10 minutes? Or is
Please.
everybody, please? Okay. Let's take 10 minutes here. And I'll come back and make it up. All right, everybody, welcome back after the break here. We're gonna pick right up. We're gonna move to agenda item number 20, which is policy 5.304, long-term leave of absence. There's a bunch of lines.
So, in this one right here, it's talking about any, one that holds a required teacher's license shall be granted leave for military service, legislative service, maternity, adoption, recoupment of health, visitation of a spouse, child, or deployment for military duty out of the country, who has been granted rest and recuperation leave. They may also be granted leave for educational improvements. They must give a 30-day notice to HR. And so Ms. Langham looked at this one. She went through this policy, or HR, and, so she was good with it.
If you notice in the second page of it, line 16 through 19, we're struck down because those are addressed during or in the family medical leave earlier, in the earlier policy.
Yeah. Okay, do I have a motion to accept policy 5.304, long-term leave of absence, as amended and provided to us?
I make that motion.
Is it a second?
I'll second.
All right, any discussion? There's no discussion. We'll accept this motion by all of those stating aye. Please state aye if you're in favor of this.
Aye.
Aye.
Any noes? Motion passes. Number 21, policy 5.308, sabbatical leave.
Okay, so.
I said that right?
So the sabbatical leave on here, employees can, take one sabbatical every 7 years, with consecutive service within the district to further their education or something else. And Ms. Langham did look at this one, and she said that this is what we do, and she agreed with this policy.
Make a motion, we accept this. Well, we can talk. Okay,
Policy as amended?
yes, as amended. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, why did we remove the minimum of one semester or any minimum? There's no. The previous, said it would be a minimum of one semester, so I guess that means they could take an entire year. What-
Up
I
to
mean,
a
what's
year.
the length?
Not to exceed 1 year.
Okay, so that's in that first sentence, okay. Well, why, that's kind of redundant. if it
I'm
says-
speculating, but I wonder if it's because of it being hard to fill a position, if if it's for part of a year,
Right.
if it's for 6 weeks, but if you know it's a semester, if you know it's a year, you're more likely to be able to fill it.
So-
They took
Speculate
that,
now.
that part out.
Well,
They took out the
I
minimum.
think it's addressed by the length of the year. Anything less than that
Right.
can only go up to a year, but anything
It's
below
not
that.
exceeding 1 year.
Ms. Jens, that's a great question, though, but
But a minimum would be good, like if what if somebody want to take a sabbatical for 3 months or something, then you'd have to,
it'd be hard.
I know. And it seemed like that helped us really. They couldn't ask for it for 3 months.
We could leave it in. if y'all think it would be more helpful to leave it.
It does open it up to someone asking for something other than a semester.
Right, that's my thoughts. It does open it up for somebody who doesn't want to be
Right,
off
right,
that whole semester.
right.
They're allowed to be off for a month or 2 months
Right.
instead. Yeah,
And
so,
by doing that, you can get a retired teacher to come in if they work.
correct.
You can get a retired teacher that way, or a retired teacher couldn't come in for a year. They could come in for a semester.
Right,
Less than 140.
right.
Yes.
I think it'd be a good thing to leave that in for you,
Yeah.
for the principal's benefit, or for everybody's benefit to,
And the students, if you're
Continuity.
constantly changing out teachers.
yeah,
and
for continuity of.
And then what's wrong with our original policy?
These were changes recommended by TSBA.
Just it's mainly verbiage other than
It's just
line
verbiage,
6
yeah,
and
it's
7.
just verbiage that, I don't care if
Right.
it says employees or teachers, because that's what they've removed out of, on this side.
So do you want to keep the original policy and just review it?
I think I mean, that keeps their
Yeah.
sentence they're talking about, and
Right.
then everything else pretty much stays the same. They changed some verbiage around to who wants to sound like they're smarter.
No, I just say
So
keep
we
the
would
original.
have to, retract the motion that's on the floor and then just make a motion, to keep what we have. Ms. Frida?
What do y'all think? You know, you're the one that would be dealing with it. Minimum, I think that semester would be good to say you couldn't take any less than a semester.
I mean, it's ideal for a school system, in my opinion, if it be either a semester or a year and nothing else.
Right.
Yeah.
But really, that's my opinion.
I agree. It does make it easier, I think, to fill a position.
Yeah.
Right.
So that would require rescinding the motion.
Okay,
and
I
go to the floor.
I rescind my motion.
You as well? Okay, and then we'll have to have a motion.
Okay, I make a motion that we keep the same policy in place on sabbatical leave.
All right, second.
Second.
Any discussion?
I think that's what we just said.
Uh,
I think that's what we just had, was the
Alright.
discussion.
All those in favor, please say so by stating aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. All right, 22, policy 5.501, complaints and grievances. Okay, so that is the only, the previous one is the one that we did. The only one that we kept the original policy.
Yes,
Everything
so
else
it
is
will be reviewed, okay. Yep. So complaints and grievances, it looks like on here that, it added, down here, Age and Discrimination Employment Act. It put that on here. So in, and so, and also if you have a complaint, then it goes to the director of schools, and then it goes to the 2 complaint managers, and that will be the deputy director and the federal projects director. And then they shall work on investigating the complaint.
And that is law. That's the procedure. So. All right. I'll entertain a motion to accept, either the current or 5.501 as amended, given to us.
I so moved.
Which one? Our current or as amended?
I would say it's amended.
Okay. Motion on the floor, to accept 5.501, complaints and grievances as amended supplied to us. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Discussion. There is no discussion. All those in favor of accepting this motion, please say so by stating aye.
Aye.
Any noes? Motion passed. 23, policy 5.113, professional development opportunities.
Okay, and this policy, 5.113, this in-service and professional learning. So this says now that, that principals and administrators are required to do the TASL as required by law. And this was also gone over by Ms. Cole. So Ms. Cole, if you have anything to add to that?
Those
Okay.
tassel requirements have been in place for several years now, just haven't been part of the policy, so.
And I think what we did was make it more specific, because when it said principal, administrator, academy, it took me a minute to figure out what exactly we were talking about. We were talking about TASL. So
Right.
that was changed just to clarify, eliminate confusion.
Just say again, the principal's training that you're required to go through as an administrator.
Okay, do I have a motion to accept policy 5.113 with amendments?
I so moved.
Do I have a second?
Come on, guys.
I'll second.
All right. Discussion.
So all the things in red is what, TSBA?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so they wanted to add to increase student achievement on that first part where it says in-service is blah, 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 to increase student achievement. That just seems like that's all we're interested in is
Yeah.
student
It's
achievement,
achievement.
you know, not the performance of the child or how they feel about school. I don't know how they put that in there. Because there's other things that I look at, that professional development with teachers might help them promote an atmosphere of love for school or something like that, not just increasing their test grade. You know
Yes,
what,
ma'am.
you see what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
It's, to me, that's not our purpose, it's just achievement. We want them to achieve, but some students will never be able to achieve what others are, and that doesn't make them any less. I guess it's just my thinking that why they put that in there, because it's, they have in-service that would make maximum effectiveness. But
That's a good point. I wonder if they're thinking that student achievement's not a byproduct of all the other kinds of services too.
But it just makes you just thinking, you know, like, a lot of it is for different things, like you'd have professional development for, behavior or
Mental
for
health.
bullying and all
I
that,
wonder, yeah.
yeah. I guess it's just semantics.
Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor, please say so by stating aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion is accepted. Number 24, policy 5.401, acquired immune deficiency syndrome.
Okay, so this policy right here is just pretty self-explanatory on this one. It's just saying that if you were notified that an employee is infected, that this shall be kept confidential.
I don't see any changes.
Yeah.
There's no
Don't
changes,
either.
so this is just a review, and
You want to just review this one?
I don't have anything myself, so we could get a motion to accept 5.401 as it stands currently in our policy book.
I'll make a motion that we,
Motion's been made, second.
Second.
Any discussion? No discussion. All those in favor, please say so by stating aye.
Aye.
Any noes? Motion passes. All right, policy 5.400, personal health examinations and communicable disease. Did I do that right?
Yeah. So on this one right here, they have struck out on here, the board shall use the written report to determine the employment status of the employee. They've also struck out the system shall have the right to require a physical or psychological examination of any employee at any time if sufficient reason exists. Such an examination is to be conducted by a competent physician selected by the system. The cost of the examination and any additional testing required by the system, by the physician, will be paid by the system. So they have struck that out.
Okay, can I get a motion to either keep what we have or accept policy 5.400 with amendments?
I make a motion to accept the policy with the amendments, because I think it just pretty much repeats what we crossed out.
Motion's been made to accept policy 5.400 with amendments. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Discussion.
I bet the reason they took that out, psychological examination, because it was bothering me, because I'm thinking, personnel should have the right if you thought someone was mentally ill. And this is just talking, but the title is communicable diseases, so I guess that's why they took that out of that part.
Yeah, I
That
think we have
psychological
opportunities. I think the
examination.
director and administrators have the opportunities in other policies
That's
to
what
question the stability of an individual,
It's-
whether it be.
Yeah, that's probably why they took it out, because it says communicable diseases, and I don't think mental health is contagious, but it may be.
All right. Any more discussion? All those in favor of accepting policy 5.400 with amendments, please say so by stating aye.
Aye.
All opposed? None. Motion passes. Number 26, policy 5.303, personal, professional, and bereavement leave.
Okay, so the reason that this one right here has been changed is because we signed an MOU between the Coffee County Board of Education and the Coffee County Education Association on May the 7th. The language in the MOU did not match our policy. So since the board approved the MOU, we made the policy to match. So that's what this one is.
All right, do I have a motion to accept
Make a-
5.400 with amendments?
I make that motion.
All right, do I have a second?
I second. Wait a minute. It's 5.303.
I'm still on the last one, sorry.
Yes, no, you're fine.
All right, motion, so the motion was to accept 5.303 with the amendments.
I make that motion.
All right. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of this motion, please say so by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? None. Motion passes. Number 27, policy 5.119, employment of retirees.
Okay, Public Chapter 159 makes several changes that's going to impact this, employees retiring in the 25-26 school year. There's now a requirement for a bona fide separation of service prior to reemployment. This includes a 60-day separation, so they have to be gone for 60 days, and then there can be no previous agreement to return to work. So.
To me, that's the verbiage, that's the big change in this.
Isn't that what it already said?
No, they just changed this, was it back in April? March or April that they changed this law? So previously, they could work and then they didn't have to take a break, but now they have to take a 60-day break.
Well, it's 60 days. We just can't, hey, Miss Beth, how about you retiring? We'll let you sit at home all summer for 60 days and then I'll hire you back as a retiree and you can draw 70% of your retirement pay along with teacher's pay.
Oh, they do
Can't
that
be.
in Florida.
We do that here.
Do you?
Yes, we do, range.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay, so that's
Type.
that little,
Yes, ma'am.
okay.
Has to be based on need.
And
It
that's
can't be
basically all the
prearranged.
changes are.
Yes.
So we need a motion to accept policy 5.119, employment of retirees with amendments as provided.
I'll make that motion.
All right, second,
I'll second.
any discussion?
Who'd you give this
Jimmy?
Mr. Parsons.
Or what, I heard those two.
to? First thing, okay, gotcha.
Okay, all those in favor of this motion, please say so by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. Number 28, policy 5.701, substitute teachers, and we only have 10 more.
So policy 5.701, the only real changes in here is that the number of days that a substitute teacher can teach without a license. Previously, it was 20 days, and I think now it's 30
30.
days. So that's all that's
That's all
really
we're
changed
changing
in
there,
here.
is just bumping that up. Okay. All right, can I get a motion to accept policy 5.701, substitute teachers with the changes?
I make that motion.
Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
All right, any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor of this motion, please say so by stating aye.
Aye.
Any noes? All right, motion passes. Number 29, policy 5.302, sick leave.
Okay, so this policy 5.302, sick leave, we just made on here the sick leave bank. It had some reference to it in here. We made it more clear, the language in it, according to the guidelines that we have. We put it straight into our policy. Also down here, our support personnel, we added that down here that they can transfer his or her accumulated leave from another Tennessee district. So we just wanted this one a little bit more clear on matching our sick leave bank.
Can I get a motion to accept 5.302, sick leave with changes?
I so move.
Second,
I'll second.
any discussion?
Okay, did we leave it in or take out the signed statement listing the cause of absence? I know that it shows that it's still in here, and they had it marked out in red. I thought it's a good thing to keep it, but.
What number are you on?
Okay, lines 8 through 8, 9, and 10, it says, it's marked out in red. A signed statement listing the cause of absence shall be provided by the employee on forms furnished by the director of schools and shall promptly be given to the immediate supervisor in support of all claims for sick leave pay. And that was marked out for us to take it out, but we still have it in there,
Kids
which I
gotta have
think
a
is a good
doctor's note.
idea.
Kids gotta have a doctor's note.
Am I correct that this is referencing the blue forms that an employee signs, their signature and checks sick, personal? Is that what that's referring to?
I think those are just interdepartment, that like you probably have there at the high school. Most places do not require anything saying you get it cleared through your supervisor and ask for your sick day and put it in, but it does not right now require any documentation for using your sick day.
Correct. We've never asked an employee to give us documentation for a sick day usage. You know, sometimes it's a
Well,
mental
it's
health
still-
day, sometimes
I
it's,
guess I'm
you
confusing
know, a
'cause
doctor's
it's still in-
appointment or,
Are you on the right?
What, this
Yeah,
one's
it's in
got
our
it,
current
and this one's
policy.
got it, and then this one's marked out.
Yeah.
So this is the one we're
amended.
going,
Yes,
we're
ma'am.
gonna
We're
go with.
gonna go with
Okay.
that one, yeah. That's what's on the floor right now. Yes, we're in discussion.
Look at line 11.
Yeah, line
Right.
11.
May be required.
That's a good point.
Mhm.
Line 11 will trump.
It,
And
and
that
that,
gives us
that
flexibility.
happens
Yeah.
when, yeah, that happens as needed.
May be
Yes.
required,
Right.
right. Well, I certainly don't think it,
We normally don't have teachers turn in why they are out sick
Right.
unless it becomes a problem.
Right.
And then the principal or admin has the right to ask that documentation from the employee for proof, and that has to come from a doctor. So by marking that out, you're not asking for it every time, but the principal may ask for it for the
Okay.
documentation.
so really prior to this, we were supposed to be getting a signed statement from a teacher when they get the sick day.
Well, and line 11 was still in there even in
Right.
the previous, so line 11 kind of
That needs
trumped.
to go, yeah.
Kind of trumped it a little bit.
and the other thing that's pertinent is on the second page, that we're trying to stay competitive in a market, and if we know that there are folks coming from another district, educational assistants with days, we reward those days.
I think that was dealing with the support personnel. Classified.
Yeah,
I know, but I thought you were saying teachers.
no, not
I'm sorry.
teachers.
My
Education.
fault.
It's okay.
Yes, Mr. Shores worked on this one. Do you have anything
He-
to add to it?
Well, I mean, we just felt like it kept us competitive, because if you lose your days, the systems around us are doing that. And for us to maintain or gain and stay, we felt like that would be a, yes, yes, ma'am.
Any further discussion? All those in favor of accepting policy 5.302, sick leave, with amendments, please say so by stating aye.
Aye.
Any noes? Motion passes. Number 30, 30, policy 5.402, hepatitis.
Okay, so this policy was looked at by Ms. Garner, and so she wanted to change the language in here. So if you'll notice down here, it says employees who are at high risk of occupational exposure shall be identified and provided with personal protective equipment and offered the HBV vaccination. So we're not actually providing that because it's $200 per vaccination, but we're gonna offer it if they go to the doctor or
Providing
whatnot
it
needed.
assumes that, makes you think you have to get, offering it just,
Our current policy, is that the first page here?
So,
And our current policy doesn't have that.
no,
It's provided.
it's the, there's two Coffee County ones because this is one we just wanted to, so it's the one that has marked out down here, including HBV. So,
Well, but even the
first
current
one-
one, that's the first page, doesn't have that in there, including it. It just says, and offered the HPV.
right, which means that it's going to be offered. Like it's gonna be, like it's,
yeah.
like
Well,
it's
that's
an
the same thing.
automatic.
You're not
Same thing
required.
the next sheet says, and offered.
I think we ended up with two of the same.
you
We
might have.
probably did. I think it
have.
said
No, one's got
provided.
including
the original.
HPV marked out,
So-
but this one Maybe
It-
I don't have the
the-
first page.
Well,
Yes, sir.
The current,
I could have messed that
It
one
is the
up too.
current,
But the original policy says.
offered, this one doesn't.
Yes.
Okay. Can I get a motion to accept?
It says including, no, the original says including HBV
Okay, I don't
vaccine.
have that one, but I know where we're going with it,
Okay.
so. Can I get a motion to accept policy 5.402, hepatitis B with changes?
I make that motion.
All right,
I'll second it.
Any discussion? No discussion. All those in favor of accepting policy 5.402 with changes, please say so by saying aye.
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 Any noes? Motion passes. All right, 31. Now, I think this is going to involve one of our prior ones, policy 6.304, student discrimination, harassment, bullying, intimidation, and cyberbullying.
Yes, so it put that new, definitions in there.
And that's what it was. It was just planning the state anti-Semitism. Yeah, I said that, right? Can I get a motion to accept the new policy 6.304 with amendments?
So moved.
All right,
Second.
Very good. Any discussion? No discussion. All those in favor of accepting policy 6304 as provided with amendments? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Noes? All right, motion passes. Number 32, policy 6.600, student records.
Okay, policy .6.600, student records. And this is just saying if a student transfers from one school to another, it requires the district to provide a copy of the student's records to the new school within 5 business days. And so we have changed the language in this policy to
Reflect that.
reflect that.
Okay. If I can get a motion to accept policy 6.600, student records with amendments.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
These are summer law. Ms. Freeman and I actually
Okay.
got to.
No more discussion. All those in favor of accepting this motion, please say so by stating aye.
Aye.
Any noes? Motion passes. Number 33, policy 6.200, attendance.
Policy 6.200 is, public chapter 401 requires entities that provide release time courses to submit proof of compliance with state law on background checks. We maintained the option to provision on release time courses in our alternate version of 6.200. This version of the model policy has been updated to highlight the responsibilities of the independent entities. And,
So this is just plugging in
it's just, yes, it's just entities that provides release time course must now submit proof of compliance with state law on background checks.
on the attendance.
6.200, yes.
So we're taking out all the yellow part highlighted.
Now, the yellow part will come out, but what'll stay will be the red.
Well, we got red in the yellow,
Let's see.
and
Tier
some red in the
three.
yellow marked out.
Tier 3 shall consist of the following interventions. School-based. Oh, Miss Krista, this is one that Dr. Cornelius worked on, wasn't it? And so the yellow does stay, right?
He worked on this one, I didn't, that was my assumption, but that's,
The yellow that's not lined out.
Yes.
The yellow that is not lined out stays.
Yes.
All right, so we'll take a minute here to review this. While we're doing that, let's go ahead and get a motion on the floor to accept policy 6.200, attendance, as amended. Provided to us in amendment.
I make that motion.
I'll
Do I have a
second.
All right. Now,
Who got the second?
discussion, we can read or have a little brief discussion, whatever we need to do.
So really, the yellow state, I mean, you know, they're not taking it out, so it's already in there. We have to fill it
Well, I do
out.
see a few changes, and then on the second page,
There's some that,
there's some yellow that's marked out,
Yeah, that release time course.
so all that was taken.
and the makeup work will be took out.
I agree with that. 13 through
So,
Just vote aye and go.
all right.
Why are we taking that out?
Okay,
Well,
so
it's
it was
marked
already
out, yeah.
highlighted in yellow.
And then it's marked through, probably by.
So the one that's marked through is what he asked to be struck out.
Who else?
Dr. Cornelius, he reviewed this policy.
Written request for-
I don't see any reason not to leave it
Time
in.
course. That is where a principal can release a student, yeah, that stuff that was marked out.
Melissa, is there any clarification on line 36, non-school sponsored extracurricular activities? What would, you might have an example of what that would be?
I wonder if that would be,
Uh,
4-H, non-school sponsored extracurricular. What about some of our local clubs, that, okay, here's a good
Dusty
example.
Elam.
AAU basketball. It's not school sponsored, it's out of season. They travel, a lot of times they'll do weekend tournaments out of state. That would be a non-school sponsored extracurricular activity.
well, do we see it?
I don't know if I would call that extracurricular. I mean, that we have board policy on those. To me, that wouldn't be an extracurricular activity.
Don't we have students that leave early and go help the Dusty Elam, Dusty Day, stuff like that?
On that weekend, we
So
do have
there's
students,
many-
that's a school's, no,
That's really not
well,
school-sponsored,
so
but,
what we,
I mean, I don't wanna knock that
what
kind
I
of
can,
things out.
what I can say there is we have some teams and clubs that work at that. So it would be a school-sponsored activity in that the team is going. Although,
Yes, and essentially the principal or the designee is giving approval for the
Right.
student to
Okay.
attend
Right.
and not be counted as an action or
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
So by accepting this policy with the changes, we're still good to do that.
Mhm.
Okay. All right, any more discussion?
Well, the line 14 on the last, second to the last page. A principal may excuse a student to attend a course in religious moral instruction from up to one class period per school day. Students may not be excused during any class which requires an examination for state or federal accountability purposes. I don't see a reason to take that out.
I'm not sure, now, is there, I believe he said something about that we did not have courses. Do we have a course?
Well,
What?
we don't have a course like that. If I'm understanding this, this would be a course that is not, school-sponsored. A course that's not a school, am I reading this correctly?
So it would be like someone going to a local church for a Bible class or
That's how I
discipleship
interpret that.
course.
And then the next part says it shall, if you did that, and it says you shall only be permitted to attend the courses that's certified in writing that they've complied with background check requirements outlined in state law. They gotta submit a written consent form from a parent and guardian and have document, that would even apply to that. So you're getting into a lot of stuff here. If we, and of course it says that not responsible for transporting to and from. So, one class period a day, how could you leave and come back and attend a class?
Yeah.
I think that's probably what he was thinking, is that, because it's not part of the school
Right,
curriculum,
right.
I'm
And
sure.
we can only give credit,
We can't,
to-
we're not able to give
right,
credit
Right.
toward graduation for
Right.
things like that.
right.
No, and I don't think that there's the expectation that you would give credit. It's just that I have heard of clubs that come in and offer the children an opportunity for Bible classes. And they deal with the transportation. So, there are those, I don't want to, if it should come up in the future, I hate to take it out of policy so that some of those opportunities, if our parents want their kids to have those opportunities.
I think there's a club that can happen before or after school in that.
This is talking about during the regular
This is
school
during the
day,
School day for a
Yeah.
course.
release time course. Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure, but he was working on it, and I want to think that he said, well, we did not have that.
Offer.
And we did not offer that, and so he's like,
Right.
all that needs to come. So that's why I looked at Mr. Parsley.
Well, it's not actually something that the school offers, it's something that a local church
Right.
offers. So, we don't have it now, but in the future
What
we
is,
might.
what is religious moral instruction? It's gotta be moral. It should be, it looks to me like it would say religious instruction, period. I don't know what religious moral. It's like, maybe we need to just talk to Mr. Maybe we just,
Table it.
yeah, and he told me to do that.
We can,
Here he's back. I was fixing to table it for him.
At one time, we discussed this at a principals meeting, but it's been several months ago, and I remember Dr. Cornelius giving a reason why this needed to take place, but for the life of me, I can't remember now why.
Simple fix. Let's pull it and put it in the back of the book, finish these others.
Well,
Does Ms.
And maybe-
Jackson withdraw their-
it says up to one class period per school day. That means the
Every
student
day.
is missing a class that they're required to have.
Yeah.
That's why I don't
Right.
understand.
I think most of these that take place are with elementary students.
That's possible.
But,
That's possible.
but an elementary school's required, theirs is all day, isn't it? There's not anything that's not required for an elementary.
It says in here, not the excuse for courses that require state or federal accountability.
I'd just
Okay.
like to know a little more about it before
Yes.
All
we
right.
take
We'll
it
find, we
out.
can dig more.
Ms.
Dr.
Freda,
Cornelius will have
Is that
a,
who made the motion?
Miss Beth and Mr. Parsley.
Okay.
So
Are
I
y'all willing to
withdraw my
rescind?
motion.
Okay. We'll pull, motion's been withdrawn. We will pull all of these
And I'll work on them.
with attendance, and we will revisit that another day. And we will move on next to, number 34, which is policy 6.411, student wellness.
So the student wellness, this is, the state law had required elementary students to receive 130 minutes of physical activity per week. Now this has been increased to 40 minutes each full school day. Middle school and high school students are required to receive 90 minutes of physical activity per school week.
So
And
is-
these are separate from physical education classes.
I always saw that too.
So we're just
Additions to
updating
top five.
current policy with the new law.
Yes, sir.
I move that we accept it.
All right, motion's been made to accept policy 6.411, student wellness with changes. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I'd just like to know how you're fitting it in myself.
I don't know how it can be fit in.
I-
I'm just
I
gonna
mean,
be
it's
honest with
required
you, I
by
don't know
law.
how it can be fit in for students to receive 90 minutes of physical activity within the school week in addition to PE class.
Yeah, I see.
That's what they say.
But y'all
when
do a
it's
great job
Mr.
of it,
Hargrove.
and I appreciate you squeezing it in.
Yeah.
We did it, but we
Yeah,
had to get.
thank you. All those in favor of accepting policy 6.411, student wellness with amendments, please say so by stating aye. Any opposed?
And I will have to say
Motion
this,
passes.
it's, they're saying that it's unsupervised, I'm not unsupervised, but not structured time. And, you know, used to, we thought the teacher had to be in the middle of all of it. That unstructured time is probably really good for them.
All right. Number 35, policy 6.201, compulsory attendance ages.
Okay, the changes on here is, it's talking about, students at 5 years of age, by August the 15th, shall be enrolled in school. If a child will be 5 years of age on or before September the 30th, they may request that their child be admitted into kindergarten. It says a child entering into the special ed program shall be no less than 3 years of age. Underneath that, there's a bunch of stuff that's been struck out.
I make a motion that we accept it.
Oh, okay.
Motion's been made to accept policy 6.201 with amendments. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, been seconded. Any discussion?
I guess I'll pick it back up. Why was that removed, a person of 18 years of age? We don't accept them anymore if they, in their schools.
Don't
Well,
we-
it's got it, well, no, it's showing, marking it out.
Charlie, how long can they stay in the public
Special ed
schools?
students can stay through their 22nd birthday.
Okay,
The logic I see by that being stricken out is for the word must. It says a person 18 years of age older for admission must have the application approved by the principal. See, that, you can't have the word must in there because we have 18-year-old, 19-year-old students who will come, not necessarily special education, that may have a disciplinary, something to follow.
It
attendance
forces,
problems, grades.
it forces us to take the language.
But all that's.
But I was reading it, that we didn't accept any 18-year-olds.
And the director of schools, the principals will make that decision on any student who is not graduating with a cohort but happens to be 18. And of course, it'll be case by case through admin and.
But see, that's not even gonna be in here, it's taking
Well-
all that out, not even referring to it.
So,
Unless
when
it's
it-
somewhere else.
While it's struck out right there, it has the number 7, and if you flip it over and look, that has been struck out, so the TCA, Tennessee Code Annotated has been struck out also. So that no longer applies to us.
discussion?
Yeah, the compulsory attendance law shall not apply to the following. A student who is 6 years or younger and whose parent or guardian has filed notice of intent to conduct homeschool with the director of schools. We crossed that out. Did we put? And also we crossed out a student enrolled in a homeschool who has reached the age of 17. So it seems like we took out everything about homeschooling.
They don't have a compulsory attendance law, I guess. It doesn't apply to them.
Yeah,
And another thing, Ms. Yinch, when you have a 17-year-old that's been homeschooled, and it's not all, but some will not come with the graduation requirements. They may enroll as a 17-year-old even at the beginning of senior year, but still be lacking 10, 12, 14 credits where there's no way they can graduate with their cohort in that year. So there has to be kind of an open box there. Because
Some, has to be
those
some
who have-
discernment as to whether to accept or not.
And it's not all homeschool students, but there are some who will come that don't have the graduation requirements met for
Well-
whatever program.
I guess I'm reading it wrong because it says the compulsory attendance law shall not apply to the following. As I understand it, the compulsory attendance law does not apply to homeschooling students. But we took that out, and it would seem to indicate that it now applies to homeschooling students.
It doesn't even mention them. I guess they can do whatever, you know.
Well, no, this says,
We took it out, so there's
Just
nothing.
we took it out. I mean, it's in
Okay.
it's in our school policy. This is in our homeschool policy.
it is
That
in
makes
our
sense.
homeschool policy?
Huh? I don't think so. Am I
I'd
wrong
say
with that
this
assumption?
compulsory attendance would probably be law, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And so, I mean, there's nothing we can do
Yeah,
about it.
homeschoolers can have that in their policy book.
But we can't
What
make them
applies to
attend.
Well, under the
Their
legal
own school.
section, it talks about cross-references, and the new, there's a new one that says homeschool 6.2002.
Maybe it's covered there.
Yeah, that's probably why they took it out.
And also in line 25, it's stricken out, a student who has received a diploma or other certificate of graduation. In other words, if a 17-year-old that lives in our county has completed graduation requirements, then they can't be held under compulsory attendance because they're not 18 years old yet.
Yeah.
There could even be a case where a 16-year-old has met graduation requirements. Then, you know, Dr. Cornelius can't take them to truancy because they're not enrolled in school or whatever.
It's-
Because they've met that graduation requirement.
Yeah, and I can see that, but the 6-year-old? And they have filed for notice of intent to conduct a homeschool with the director of schools.
That means there's just no compulsory attendance for them.
No, it's saying that there is, because they crossed out that line. The compulsory attendance law shall not be applied to the following. So if they crossed out that line that shall not be applied, it means that it now applies.
Is it
Well,
because
it
of
took
line
everything
8?
out on compulsory attendance
No,
for.
because you still have the law that protects you and what you can do as a homeschool. It's just not gonna show up in our policy.
That's kind of where I was. just-
Yeah, it's not gonna
Right.
show
It's
up in our
just not
policy.
necessary to be in
Yeah.
our policy book.
Yeah.
Because we don't have any
A
jurisdiction
homeschooler don't
over
need to
them.
come get our policy to make sure that they are exempt from coming to school. That's on them to know their laws of what they can do. We're just not showing it in ours.
And it's like that student who we can't hold accountable if they've met graduation requirements, if they're
Yeah.
under 17. It's that 6-year-old, as long as they went through the process to do the homeschool enrollment paperwork, whatever they do, then he can't,
Yeah.
our attendance director can't go against the family
Yeah,
because they're not in school. as long
because
as
they're not
not
in school and
homeschooled.
zone, yeah, and triggered.
Ms. Beth, the other thing is our attendance, Keith doesn't take children under 6 to court. It doesn't start until they turn 6.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
All right. If there's no more discussion, all those in favor of the current motion, accepting policy 6.201 with amendments, please say so by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. All right, number 36, we got three more, folks. Policy 6.307, drug-free schools.
All right.
I do believe this was more law-driven, but not very different, just a little more definition, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, I make a motion, we accept it with amendments.
All right, motion's been made to accept policy 6.307, drug-free schools
I'll second it.
with amendments. All right, and been seconded. Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion?
It just looks like they marked it out 13 through 23 and put it over in
Yeah.
1 through 10. And then just numbered those appropriately.
Yeah. Yeah, just move some stuff around, that's all yeah, it's kind of realigning, and probably making more clarity. All right. Any more discussion? All those in favor of accepting policy 6.307, drug-free schools with amendments, please say so by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Motion passed. Number 37, policy 6.412, emergency allergy response plan.
So this is one that Ms. Gardner has also looked over, and she did not see anything that was on here that we did not do. So it is aligned to our policies or our procedures here.
There is a change, one that has been changed,
Yes.
but she don't see nothing wrong with our current policy? Okay, so the one in red is TSBA, and nobody has any issue, or Ms. Garner doesn't have any issues with our current policies, so I'll entertain a motion either way of accepting what we currently have, or a motion to accept.
Well, now she has marked, it's been marked out the individualized health care plan with allergy action, so,
She did that?
It's still in there, it's just not capitalized.
Oh, okay. So,
We just provide accommodations. That's basically what's the first.
all right, so we need a motion one way or the other, either the new or the old.
It wouldn't hurt just to keep everything in there, frankly. Because it's just mostly saying that we need to make sure all the staff know.
If I could get a motion one way or another.
I make a motion, we keep the plan as we already have it.
Motion's been made to keep our policy as it stands currently. Is there a second?
I second it.
Now, discussion. Anybody need more time? There's no more discussion. All those in favor of keeping our current policy, 6.412, emergency allergy response plan, please say so by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Motion passes. Last one.
Well, did we skip the acquired immune deficiency?
We had already done it, I think.
No, it was plugged in there again. We already done it back
Oh, okay.
earlier. I seen that too in my book.
sorry.
All right.
Hey, this many, don't worry about it.
You done.
All right, 38, last one, policy 6.303, interrogation and searches.
Okay, there's a new training requirement for school personnel who may conduct searches of students. Going forward, any searches of students must be carried out by a school resource officer, a school security officer, or a school administrator who has completed the state required trainings. And we have, updated our policy to align with this.
Okay. Which
So
are-
our folks have already been trained by Daniel
Right.
So
Ray,
this-
and they will do another training at our next principal meeting.
This will
Over the same
require
stuff.
us to accept this amended policy. Okay. Can I get a motion to approve, policy 6.303 with amendments?
I make the motion.
Motion's been made. Do I have a second?
Second it.
Now, discussion on it.
The only two other things that are additions to our current policy are the last two on the back page. And those are just protecting us if we ever, law enforcement uses
Use of
animals
animals, metal.
or wands, metal detectors, and any, it just protects us. We get to those, use of those, so, yeah, it's the only change.
We don't have any metal detectors in any of our schools
Yeah.
at present, do we?
It's my belief we have a wand or two,
Oh, well,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
but
no
not,
metal.
no
detector.
metal detector.
okay.
Any more discussion or questions or concerns? If not, all those in favor of accepting policy 6.303, interrogations and searches with amendments, please say so by stating aye.
Aye.
All opposed? None, that passes. Now, I'm gonna offer this to the group. We pulled one, are we still going to leave it for, or are we gonna talk about it? I say we call this meeting and adjourn this meeting, and we've really done great. We only have one for somebody to confirm.
And maybe Ms.
And we
Dr.
could
Cornelius could
possibly, we
explain.
could possibly still put it on the agenda, but put it as an agenda item
And Dr. Cornelius could explain.
on Monday night.
Sure.
And Dr. Cornelius could be there and let the full board do that. That way you still get all of these policies taken care of at Monday night board meeting. How y'all like that?
I like that.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Yes, sir. I agree. All right.
Hey.
Thank you, folks.
Who seconded
Randy, are we
that?